Good morning, everyone. And we want to welcome you to Pillow Talk Lounge. We're your host. I'm James Green, and this is my lovely wife, Cynthia Green. And we just want to welcome you because it feels like we have been here in forever.
It's been a long time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's been so long since I've seen you guys, since we've been on, and I'm just excited to be here this morning. I hope you guys are doing well. Here in Maryland, it's a rainy season right now for like the next 7 or 8 days, but I hope you're still enjoying life. Don't let the weather ruin your mood, your attitude, what you want to do. You might can't necessarily cook out outside, but you know what? Just don't let it ruin how you feel. All right, your attitude and all of those types of things.
Right. And so, are we just going to jump right in?
Nope. Y'all know I always like to know, what are you guys having for breakfast today? And my favorite question is, the first person to post in the group, me and James' favorite Saturday morning breakfast that we cook at home. If you post everything we eat on Saturday morning, we're going to send you a gift. And I promise you, I'm true to my word. Oh, I wish I had her name, because the last time we did the show, the person who guessed it, I put their gift in the mail. So I need to reach out to them to see if they received it. Maybe they'll be on the show today and they can say, yes, we got our free gift. So post in the group what James and I eat, our favorite meal for breakfast. And there's a special one that you have to get that part correct, right, and you'll get a free gift.
Right. So we always ask you to share this out, because today we're going to be talking about a topic where it's a touchy subject, especially maybe for ladies. And for guys also, but maybe more for ladies. So all you got to do is share this out, especially for the dating ones or people that, plan to get married or whatever the case may be. We just ask you to share this out. So we're going to go right in. Cynthia and I believe that if you're dating, you should be dating to go somewhere. You shouldn't be just dating we're just kicking it, or dating, you're living together and you have no plans. We always talk about vision. What is your vision? What is the vision for your relationship? What is the vision for your marriage? Where are you going? Because if you're not going anywhere, then you're just being stagnant. You don't know where you're going. You're just willy-nilly around. Let me put it that way. So we truly believe that if you're dating, you should be going somewhere.
That's true.
You should have a vision on what do you expect. We always talk about expectations also.
Yes.
What are your expectations when you're dating? What is it going to look like in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? You have to have a vision. So here's a question we want to propose. If you're dating, how long do you feel you should be dating before you plan to get married, before you get married? I know it could be different from men and women. I'm sorry. It is different from men and women, because we have different ideas on when is the right time to get married. For a man, when is the right time to propose? For a woman, when do you expect a man to propose? Especially if you're dating. So that's what we want to throw out today, because Cynthia and I got two totally different ideas or perceptions of when is that time.
Right. So James said a lot of good stuff, right? So should you date just to be dating? So I remember I did a presentation at an elderly home, and it was about relationships, and they really wanted to know about dating. So I was like, what is your goal in dating? They were like, well, what do you mean? I said, okay, are you dating because you just want a friend? Are you dating because you want someone to hang out with? Are you dating because you want someone to treat you to, dinner and theater and things of that nature? Are you dating because you want sex? Are you dating because you want a true companion? Are you dating because you want someone to talk to? Are you dating because you're looking for marriage, like long-term relationship? Right. And they were like, I never thought of that before. I never thought about why I'm dating, So you're dating because you just want a man. Right. And just want to be with somebody.
And then when you
don't want to be alone.
And when you look at it as getting married, why are you getting married? Are you getting married because you don't want to be alone? Are you getting married because you actually love that person, want to spend the rest of your life with that person? Are you getting married because the woman is pregnant and you want, say, the child to have your last name or to be a family? Or are you being forced into marriage? Or if you're Christians and you believe in no premarital sex, are you getting married just to have sex?
So he's kind of jumped over to
Right.
the end about marriage, but this morning, we're talking about dating. So James and I were having this debate, right? Do you think there should be a time limit on how long you date somebody
Before
you get married, or break up because the marriage is not going where you want it to go?
Before you propose. Because I know some women will say, well, I've been dating him for a year, and it's time for him. If he don't propose to me by the end of the year, I'm gone.
Right. So should you date a year and it's okay to propose? If you've been dating 10 years, is that okay? Like, how long should you date if you have, so you have to look at it like this. Do you even have a desire to get married, first of all?
Because some people don't.
They don't. Or is your goal to just live together with your mate because, that's just what you guys prefer? Or what happens when one of you really wants to get married and move forward and the other one you just really don't care?
Right.
Don't really want to, or just don't care. It's not a big deal. What do you do when you're in that type of relationship? If you really want to get married and your mate doesn't?
Because I read something where women on like the second or third date, they already know if they want to spend the rest of their life with that person.
I thought it was the man.
No, I think it was the women. I read it where women know.
No.
Men are unsure. It's not the man.
Okay, maybe not married, but by the second or third date, the man knows if he wants to be with that woman or not long term. He knows if he wants to continue to date her. And women will hang on just because you're buying them stuff, women will know, taking them out.
Some women will know on their first date in a matter of hours, do I want to continue this or not? Do I want to continue to date him?
Well, yeah.
Some women will know right away, okay, he's not the one for me.
But men are the ones who will walk away quicker, because women, especially when the women who are dating online and they meet somebody and they're talking and then they go on a date and then the guy they ghost them, as people call it.
Right.
They're wondering why. Well, you're not the one. Right. You're not his person. As my friend says, I learned this from her. You're not his person. You shouldn't feel offended because somebody doesn't want to be with you anymore.
So why do women feel offended if the man dumps her and says, I see that she's not the one for me?
Because a lot of times they don't tell you and you don't know why they're not.
Will they just ghost you?
What happens is they don't let you know that this is not working, or I found someone else, or I'm moving on.
And you know why? Because a lot of times, if a man tells a woman that, they get an attitude. Next thing you know, they want to harass them on the phone, maybe tear up their car. Come on. Sometimes men, we may be leery to tell them, you're just not the one for me. Women get an attitude. Well, I thought we were kicking it.
Well,
next you know, there's issues.
But now you can do it virtually. And
that makes it worse.
But half the time,
send them a text. I don't want to see you anymore. Come on.
It's all in how you say it. I'm moving on.
I'm moving. Okay. Could you imagine getting a text and say, I'm sorry, I'm moving on?
Yes.
No.
Okay. It's all in how you say it. Okay. So you send them a text and you say, you know what? I decided that I'm going to continue to date other people.
All right. So let me ask you out there. First of all, would you allow a person, man or woman, to break up with you via a text?
You don't have a choice if they break up with you.
Right. No. I'm saying, how do you feel? Not allow. How would you feel? Angry? Retaliation? And the next question is, how long do you think you should be dating before it's time for you to get married?
But no, let's not mix the two, because we're still talking about this top subject. So women get upset if you don't tell them why you're not calling anymore, or taking them out on a date, or coming to visit anymore. Like, they get offended if you do that. So now you're saying they're gonna get offended too if you tell them why you're not calling or texting anymore, or you tell them you decided to move on, or this is not working out.
I think the issue could be that if
he loses either way.
Right, because if the man feels some type of way, like, okay, I don't see myself with her, she's not the one for me, and the woman feels like, okay, he is the one for me. I think I can spend my life with him. And if the man breaks up with her, whether it's text, whether it's in person, no matter what he says, she's going to be angry.
Okay, so is this after 2 or 3 dates? They're gonna be angry.
That's what we're asking.
Oh
After how
my
many days?
gosh.
I mean, how do you know? You're saying a man knows after the
After
first
2 or
date.
3 dates, if he wants to continue taking this woman on a date, because let's be for real, usually the man is spending the money, he's paying for the date. So am I gonna keep taking out a woman that I know I don't want to be with long term?
Exactly. No.
So he should let her know, because women get upset when you just ghost them. But do you think women really want to know why? The women I talk to say they like to know why he's not calling anymore.
But if his why is
you're just not
the one for me, right? You're just not the one. And then it's like, well, what is it about me? I thought we had a connection. Blah blah blah. Come on.
Okay, if you're a mature woman, you should be able to say, "Okay, I understand." If you're not his one, you're not his one. You can't make yourself be his one. You can't, and you
exactly.
But a lot of women start examining themselves, like, "What's wrong with me?"
And don't we say that a relationship has to be both sides?
Absolutely.
It can't be one-sided. So if one side's not feeling it, and one side is, the one side that's not feeling it needs to come out and say that. And all right, say the man is feeling a woman and the woman's not feeling a man, and she breaks up with him.
Okay.
You know, I don't think the man will get as upset as women.
So this is why I believe you should have your own dating rules, right? You should have dating rules. If you go out with somebody at least 3 times, on that third date, you should know whether you're going to keep moving forward. You should be asking the right questions.
If you know, but ahead of time, maybe you need to let them know then, because then if you keep continuing to go out, it looks like you're leading them on.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. You should have your own dating rules. Like for me, on the third date, I would ask, okay, do you see this relationship going somewhere? Like, you know, are we going to continue dating, or are we just going to be friends? Like, how are you feeling about this relationship? How many dates would you go on with somebody before having an idea of where the relationship is going? Or is it too early, 3 or 4 dates, because you feel like you haven't gotten to know them that well? Or honest, you feel like you're going to run them away if you start asking them those types of questions?
If it was me and it says, I just want to be friends, I know me, I don't need no more friends. Look, you know, if I'm not the one for you, fine, I'll see you later. But we don't need to be friends. I don't need no more friends.
Okay. So that's honest, though. So if the girl says that you're not the one,
all right,
and you
cool.
Say,
I'll see you later,
and she say we can just be friends,
fine,
you're gonna say, I don't need any more friends. I think we should just go our separate ways.
I don't think I would be that rude. I'll just say, okay, fine, I'll see you around.
But are you gonna still take her on dates?
No, I'm not the one. Why go out with her again if she's not the one? She said you're not the one for me.
Okay.
So why should we keep going out? Why should I waste my money, my time, and my effort, everything? If you already said I'm not the one, okay, I'll see you around. You want to be friends? Fine, I'll see you around.
Okay, so you're okay with the woman telling you you're not the one and we should just be friends, but you're feeling like if a man tells the woman that, she's going to get upset and offended and do crazy things to you. That's not always true.
If she's feeling him, yes, I do believe that. I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
What if you was feeling the woman? What if you was feeling the woman and she told you she think y'all should
all right, I may be a little upset, maybe a little hurt, but I just move on.
You sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
Okay, that's you, but can the average man do that?
I think the average man could do it more than the average woman.
Oh my, you really?
Yes.
I don't know. There's some crazy men out there too.
There's some crazy women out there. And I know some crazy men out there that done some stupid things. But I also know there's crazy women out there that has done some stupid things.
I think because of cyber dating, they need some new tried and true rules to share with people so that they will have an idea on what to expect or not to expect. Because I think people getting on these dating sites and they don't know the rules of engagement. They don't know the rules of the game. They don't know.
If you have your own expectations, you know what you expect as a person.
No, a lot of people don't. They just out there dating willy-nilly. They don't have a whole lot of expectations. They don't have no.
All right.
Okay, do y'all have dating rules? If you're watching and you date online, you do cyber dating, I call it. You're on the dating apps or whatever. Do you have dating rules? Not just talking to them and getting to know them online, but if you decide you're going to go on a date with somebody that you've been cyber dating, do you have dating rules? Like how many dates you're going to go on? or if you have a rule that you'll know the first time you're with them in person if you're going to continue seeing them. Like, do you have any guidelines or what we call guardrails that you have expectations of when you're dating somebody?
But see, I'm not one who's big for online dating. That's just me. You know, I know a lot of people do it. I know people that have done it and got married, just not me, because I believe that the best course of action is to in person talk about maybe what your expectations are, talk about what you like and don't like, so the person can see if you're a good fit in person, not just put it on your profile or you're reading something and you're talking online, because they could be just giving you what you need. But talking in person is more, just like we always talk about if a woman and a guy meet, they go on a date, right? But then either one, you never met the guy's friends, you never been to his house, he tells you don't call me at this number. Isn't that a red flag?
Of course there's red flags.
So
but
online,
online,
you might not know that unless you're in person and you talk.
Right. So there's a different set of rules and guidelines and guardrails just when you're talking to them online. But for me right now, this morning, I'm thinking more of once you start meeting them in person.
Okay, fine.
Because I've never dated online. I don't know a whole lot about dating online.
Neither do I.
I know a lot of people who have dated and are dating online. And
some are successful.
And some who are successful from dating online. But let's just, even if you're not dating online, if you just meet somebody and you go out on 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 dates, how many dates do you go on before you say, okay, we've been on all these dates, I don't think I want to be with him long term, or I don't think she's the one, it's time to move on?
Or he.
Do you share that with the person, or do you just ghost them, just disappear, stop calling, stop coming over? Which do you think hurts the most?
I think
ghosting or telling them the truth.
I think ghosting may hurt the most, like especially if you're feeling that person and you're expecting to go out again or maybe get a call and they just ghost you. I think that hurts the most, because especially if you're feeling that person, like, hey, that person has a call. Now you're calling and they're not answering. It goes to voicemail, or your number is blocked, or the number has changed.
Yeah, and you're feeling some type of way. So we're talking about this topic because we got a lot of single friends who always ask us about, finding that one and getting married and how they looking forward to that one.
I was going to say, if we move forward, say you're in a committed and serious relationship. Mm-hmm. How long do you feel you should be in that relationship before you expect, for women, the guy to propose, and for men, if you're in that serious committed relationship, before you propose? How long do you think that should be?
If they're going to propose.
Right.
They might not be planning to propose.
But then the women might feel, okay, we've been dating for a few years now. When is he going to propose?
So I'll give you two sides of the story. We know someone who was dating someone, and they'd been together for 3 years. And then he said he has a 5-year plan, and then he'll be ready to get married.
And that would be 8 years total.
Dating.
Most women, I feel, wouldn't put up with that. But maybe the man is just not ready. Can you put a time limit on when you're okay? I know a lot of times, ladies, you'll put a time limit like, all right, I'm only going to date this guy for 3 years. If he ain't marrying me, I'm going. Or 5 years, I'm going. It shouldn't be a time limit. For a man, sometimes it may not be a time limit, because maybe he has to get his stuff together. Maybe he's trying to get his career established. Maybe, he's taking care of his ill mother, lives with his mother, and he's trying to get out on his own. There could be a lot of things or a lot of criteria.
Okay, but what if it's not? What if it's just about him and his career and getting his life together, his money together? Are you going to date somebody for 5 years, add on the first 3, so that's 8 years you have been dating?
Okay.
Are you willing to date somebody for 8 years before they marry you? Now, this particular person said, I'm not going to be somebody's girlfriend for 8 years. Hey, I'm feeling that. Me either. I am not going to be your girlfriend for 8 years. No way, Jose. Okay. Especially it in advance.
But listen.
She knew it in advance that he told her that. In my mind, he wasn't planning to marry her anyway.
Okay, so say he didn't tell her.
Okay, so okay, so that's
So
different.
when?
We're talking about somebody that doesn't know.
Okay.
So say you're dating somebody and y'all been dating, but Asila, hey Asila, hey. She says ghosting hurts more and honesty goes a long way. Her husband and she dated for 3 months before they got married. The first time, laugh out loud. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. But I believe ghosting hurts the most too. But so okay, so say you're dating somebody and it's been 3 years and you really feel like you want to spend the rest of your life with this person, like you're ready for marriage, and they're not.
Right.
What do you do?
Are you going to dump them because they're not ready and you're ready? Are you going to dump them because it's been 3 years and now you expect to get married and he's not ready?
How long are you going to
How
hang
long
in
are you
there?
going to hang in there? Right. And then you have couples who may live together. And if you live together for 2 or 3 years.
That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's a totally another topic. Let's not even go to that topic.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that topic. Let's just talk about now. You're just dating.
How long, women, how long do you feel you could be dating in a committed serious relationship before you expect the guy to propose? And then how long are you dating in a serious committed relationship before you propose? I don't think the man has a time frame.
Some men do. Men know when they want to get married. Look at the last couple we just finished counseling and they just got married. He knew he wanted to marry that girl when he'd only been dating her, been on a couple of dates with her. And they got married after they've been dating, what, a little less than a year? A little over a year.
But in my opinion,
some men know.
This is James' opinion. Maybe there isn't a time frame.
Okay, James.
There isn't a time frame. See, Cynthia feels there should be a time frame. Like she said, she ain't gonna date no guy for 5 years and he don't propose.
Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
You know.
Now it's a little different if you're in college. You know,
and that's what I was gonna say.
Okay,
see,
so
no, wait. That's what I was gonna say. Say you met in college and you started dating in college.
Okay.
No, let's go with college. You started dating in college, right?
Right.
Say your junior year. So now you've been dating 2 years before you graduated. Now you're graduated, and the guy is trying to get a job, establish some stuff. You know, for what degree he's taking.
I'd give him another year or two.
Okay. So then that's 4 years.
Okay, that's understandable. That is totally understandable.
But if it takes longer than 2 years, and you dated for 2 years.
Oh no, if it's been longer than 2 years.
But you dated in college.
I don't care. I'm not hanging around for 5 years being someone's girlfriend. I feel like that other girl who said she was not going to be someone's girlfriend for 8 years.
But then if you dated for 2 years in college and it took him another, say, 3 or 4 years to get established and to get everything
established together. I'm trying to get established. You're trying to get established. We got to live somewhere. Why not do it together? I believe couples should build together. I don't need you to go out and buy a house and save all this money in your bank account and then you marry me.
So what would be the plan? Because if you're dating in college and you just want him to get marry you after that, where are you going to live? With someone's parents?
No, you got to have a job. You don't have to live with your parents when you get out of college. You can get a job. And then that makes it easy.
So if he lives with, so wait.
Let's say you don't have a great job.
But say he lives with his parents.
Okay.
Right? If he lived with his parents and he said, well, let me get myself together first. Aren't you going to hang in there and wait? Because after he graduated college, he went back and lived with his parents until he got himself established?
Okay. It depends on what you mean by established. But if he graduates from college and he goes to stay with his parents, that's understandable. I don't expect us to graduate from college and immediately get married and move in together if he doesn't have a job or he's trying to get a job, right? So you can stay with your parents and you get a job and you create a plan. That's
what I'm saying. There's a lot of scenarios because let's take college out of the equation.
Oh, Lord, you take college out of
the equation. And now you're dating.
For 4 years.
Is that too long? Mm-hmm. Why?
What you mean, why?
Why is 4 years dating too long?
Because I don't want to be somebody's girlfriend for 4 years. I know if I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So me personally, I'm not hanging around with somebody just to be hanging out with. Like you always say, when you're dating somebody, you should be dating to go somewhere. So
right, but you don't know how long it's going to take to get that somewhere.
Why would it take 5, 6, 7 years to get married? Why does it take that long?
Okay, let me just say, okay.
Ooh, I like what Sela said. She says men and women rationalize differently. We think differently.
Right.
It's up to the woman to set those boundaries, in my opinion.
See?
I agree.
And that's what I said.
But that's what we talked about
In
at
the very beginning.
You got to have
Right.
some boundaries, some guardrails, and
But
some
let me tell you something.
expectations.
So if you go on a first date and it is good, you know, you like each other. Y'all have a lot in common. You have great
Mhm.
communication.
Yeah.
Then you go on the second date. It's even better. You feel, okay, this could be the one. Then on the third date, you tell him, this is what I expect. I'm not going to be dating you for no 3 or 4 years. I expect to be married. A lot of times that could chase the guy off. Because
Okay.
hold up, I'm
then
not
I'm
ready.
not his person, because I believe you should be upfront in a relationship about what you want.
Right. So what if you do and the guy said, okay, well, give me a little bit of time. How much time do I
Okay,
need?
I give him a little bit of time.
Okay, so if the guy says, well, how much time do I need? Because, you know, I got a lot of things, you know, I want to get my credit established, you know.
What? What your credit got to do with
How do you know he
anything?
doesn't have a lot of student loans and he's in debt a little
Okay,
bit?
we can work that
No,
out.
I mean, what if he
You
gives
looking
you
for excuses?
No, I'm not giving excuses. I'm giving you legitimate reasons why he might not be ready in the amount of time you set forth when you talk to him
I
on the
might have
date.
a great job. I might could help him with a student loan. So why would he let his student loans or his credit be the reason
But
why
would
he
you tell
don't
him
marry
that?
me?
Would you
That's-
tell him that?
Maybe it depends on the relationship we have, how
See?
close we are, and if we're really talking marriage. But I don't want him to marry me
Okay,
because
so
I
let me
got
ask you a
money
question.
and he wants
So-
to take
so-
advantage of
So
me.
if the first date, y'all hit it off, great communication, a lot in common.
Okay.
When would you tell him about the marriage part? What you just said.
Okay, for me, I would have my own guidelines and rules, which I had before I married you, right? I had planned out my dating whole way plan for how I was going to date.
And I just ruined them plans.
How long
No.
I was going to date. I had all my rules, guidelines, expectations, but see, God knew differently. All
See?
right.
So
But
so
for
wait,
me-
wait. God, listen to this now, ladies and gentlemen. God knew differently. That's what she said. So if you meet the guy and your plan is, okay, we're dating 2 years, I expect you to propose. But God tells you differently to wait. Like it says, wait on the Lord. Be patient. And God tell you to wait past 2 years.
Oh, I would definitely listen to God if God tells me that. But I'm just talking about when people are just dating and doing stuff willy-nilly with no expectation, no guidelines, no rules, no nothing. So let me say this though. I had my guidelines, I had my rules. And so I wanted to do quick, short dates. I didn't want no long
See?
extended dinners and all of this. That was my plan, right? So we go out on a couple
A
of dates.
dating frenzy.
I honestly feel like I would know on the first date if I like this guy, if I want to continue dating this guy. Now, see, some women would take advantage. They'll like that you taking them to fancy restaurants, buying them expensive drinks, and doing all this stuff. So they'll stick in there. They'll hang in there until they find somebody else. But for me, I would not. I wanted to do quick, short dates till I found someone I really felt comfortable with and I really felt like I was ready for a long-term relationship with. So I believe it should be about wanting to be with them long-term if you're looking towards marriage. So if you're not, then you shouldn't date somebody just, and stick around. And you should be honest with them. You should be upfront with them about what you want in a relationship. I would tell the person on the first date.
I was going to say, so if that's the case, maybe have a conversation. What are your expectations on marriage?
No, it ain't even marriage. I would tell the person, I am not looking to date just to be dating. I don't need anybody to take me out, to wine and dine me. I am looking for a true relationship that leads to marriage. And if that's not them, they can walk away. They don't have to call me again.
So you would say that on a first date?
Yes, absolutely.
See, that's what I said. Women know if they want to spend time more with this guy quicker than men.
Now, I will say this. I feel like if I really like the guy, I'll tell him that. But if I don't like him, I don't care about him.
But how do you know? It may take a couple of days before you really know if you like him or not.
I don't think
it might not be on the first date.
In my spirit, I would know if I want to go out on a date again with someone. I would know that.
See.
So, but you know what? Then again, that's not true.
Exactly.
Because when you and I was friends, I wasn't interested in dating you.
See.
I was not interested in dating you. But once we went on our first date, I was interested in continuing to date.
Oh my God.
So you just never know. You just never know. Seriously.
But I believe sometimes you really don't know when,
okay.
From a man's standpoint, you really don't know. Well, some men do. They know how long they want to date before they get married. Some men want to be married. Some don't. Some men just like kicking it.
But you know what?
You have to have that conversation to lay the guidelines down on what your expectations are in a relationship.
Right, because if you tell someone that you're looking for a serious relationship, that what you want, and you tell them what you want in a relationship, and they bail, they don't stick around, then they weren't the one anyway. You don't want to waste your time with that person. So why not be honest up front? The couple that I was saying, we just finished counseling. That's what he did. He let her know what he was looking for, and she hung around, and they ended up getting married. But if they bail, oh well. So we told you about the couple who was dating 3 years, and when he told her he had a 5-year plan before he got married, and that meant they would be dating 8 years, and she said no way, Jose, and she walked away from that relationship. That's one scenario. We have another scenario where the couple was dating about 2 years, maybe 2-3 years, and they decided to move in together.
And see,
now they've been living together about 3 or 4 years, so they've been together a total of 7 years. Now she wants to get married, and he's not 100% sure that she's the person he wants to marry.
And so let me
So
ask,
you're okay with living together,
right,
but you're
but not okay with marrying that person.
But you don't know if you want to marry that person. Like,
so
what's the
let's
difference?
ask all of them out there. Would you move in with someone first if you don't know if they really want to marry you or not?
Or would you move in to find out if
you
you
want to
marry
them?
that person?
Because sometimes couples can say, okay, I want to marry this person, and you get married, and then you don't live together until you get married. Then you find out little things, the imperfections.
Okay, that's natural.
Right.
That's gonna happen.
Right. So why move in the beginning to find out about those imperfections ahead of time?
Well, let's just be honest, babe. A lot of times couples move in together because they just think that's the thing to do. They think that that's just like the big commitment. Oh, I like you. I love you. Let's move in together. They ain't thinking about marriage. They are not thinking about marriage. They're not.
But then you have ones who want to get married, especially women. Well, I want to be married by the time I'm 30 or 35, and I want this and I want that. And so when you meet a guy, you already have those expectations.
Okay.
And you may not tell him, so he doesn't know. So now you're going to dump him because you never told him your expectations.
That's why I said tell them, and you said they're going to run if you tell them.
Right.
So which one is it?
They're going to run because you never told me what you wanted.
Okay, no, but I'm saying if you do tell them, you said they're going to run if you do tell them what you want in a relationship. So now you're saying if you don't tell them and then they don't meet them, they're going to run.
Right.
Well, which one should you do? Do you tell them or you not
tell
them? Should you tell them?
No, not tell them. Talk about it.
Oh, okay, talk about it. Should you talk about what you want in a relationship when you're dating on the first couple of dates? Or do you just have these expectations in your mind and you don't tell them, and then you're disappointed when they don't meet them?
Because let me tell you, I told a person that. I was living in another state. I'm from the East Coast, and I was living in another state. And I told the person, look, I'm not going to marry you. I told them, I'm not going to marry you. I'm moving back east, and I'm moving back alone. I'm not taking you with me. I'm not marrying you. So I don't want to be wasting your time. So if you feel I'm wasting your time, I'm fine if we break up and you dump me.
Right.
Because you're looking to get married, and I'm not the one.
Okay.
So
James was brutally honest with his girlfriend he had before he started dating me. Thank God he had already let her know that he was not planning to marry her. But just imagine if he started dating me and was serious about me and just stopped calling her. I'm sorry, he did do that.
I know. Well,
so
but
even though he had told her that, guess what? When she found out he had another woman, she was still upset. So you were upfront and honest with her to let her know you were not going to. And she was still upset.
See what I'm saying? And that's because, like I said, if
she thought
one person feels a certain way about the other, and you don't feel that person's way about them, one of them will get an attitude, right? Like if the man really, now I know back home where I'm from, the man was liking a woman, and she wasn't really feeling him, and she dumped him. And his attitude was, well, if I can't have you, nobody can. See, and that's a bad way to think. And that's the man being obsessed because he really likes the woman, and the woman don't like him. Then you got the other scenario where the woman really likes the man and he dumps her. Next, you know, his windows could be busted out in his car, his tires could be flat. I'm just saying, people go to the extreme when they're feeling a person and the other person is not feeling them.
Sometimes that's true.
So how do you prevent that? Would you have a conversation on the first date on expectations?
I think you should. Me personally, I think you should be having an honest conversation on the
so let me ask you a question.
Let's just think about this.
Well, let me ask you a question. Okay. So if you have a conversation and the woman says, here's what I expect.
Hey, Joanna.
Here's what I expect. Here's what I'm looking for on the first date. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. Maybe, you know, that may lead to marriage and all of that, right? What if the guy says, and this is you saying your expectations. What if the guy says, well, I don't know yet. I'm not there yet, so I can't say.
So I'll say that's fair.
So maybe we need to go out some more to see if you are the one for me.
And we can do that.
So how long would you go out with him until he decides, okay, I'm not there yet?
You know what? It depends on how often we go out on a date. I might give him 3 months, but I am not going to waste my time.
Every weekend for 3 months?
No, we might not go out every weekend, but if we went out every weekend, I'm sorry. After about 5 or 6 days, I would be like, do you feel like this relationship is going somewhere?
I don't know yet.
I don't want to waste my time.
I don't know yet.
And half the time, y'all don't know yet because y'all just waiting to see if you're going to get the woman in the bed. That's all that's about.
See?
I'm serious. That's all that's about.
But I feel what you can say is on the first date, what is your take on marriage? Are you looking to get married? Because some guy says, well, I've been married before and it didn't work out well, so I don't know if I want to get married again. I'm not looking to get married again.
Then this relationship is not for me.
Right.
Because I don't date just to be dating. I'm looking for someone who wants a serious relationship that leads to marriage.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Ask them, have that conversation about what is your take on marriage? Are you looking? Because some guys might say, I'm looking to get married again. Yes. Mm-hmm. You know, I think marriage is a great thing. It didn't work out the first time, but yes, I'm looking for marriage again. And I think I can make it work this time. Right? Then you can say,
then
okay.
He's a potential. Then he's a potential.
So then how long?
What, to date him?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. It's okay.
See?
So for me personally, I don't think there's a real timeline. If you know you're...
So why get mad if you're dating and
I'm talking about the shortness of the time.
A year turns into 2 years.
The shortness of the time. I think you could date someone 6, 7, 8 months. You know that they're even 3 months, because Asila said she got married after 3 months, and you know that this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. You just know it, and you married.
What was it? 6 weeks? Few weeks.
We do? Oh,
yes,
you have to tell me. I don't remember. But I don't believe you got to date somebody 3, 4, 5 years before you know you want to marry them. You don't. And if you're doing that, you need to take a look at yourself. Like, would you want your daughter to be with a man for 8, 10 years and he never asked her to marry her?
And that's funny.
You would feel like she's not good enough for him to take home to mama, to call wife, to put a ring on it. That's how I feel that a parent would feel.
I work with a young woman who we talked about marriage, and she's been dating this guy for 5 years. And she told me, and I ended up seeing her going into the office because I usually go in on Tuesday. She going on Wednesday. She was there Tuesday. So I asked her, has he proposed yet? She says, I'm giving him to the end of this year.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
What she said. So I said,
I
said, how many years would that be? I think that would be like 5 or 6. She said, I'm giving him to the end of the year. So I said, okay, if he doesn't propose by the end of the year, what are you going to do? Are you going to dump him? She said, yes. But her father and mother said he should have been proposed to you. You wasting your life on him, and there's no guarantee that he's going to propose.
Because you know what? Honestly, I said to a guy one time that had been with his girlfriend like 5 years. I said, are you going to marry her? He was like, I don't think she's the one that I want to marry. She's just not ambitious enough. She's just, and I was like, well, y'all been together for 5 years and you're not getting any younger. I said, a woman past a certain age might not be able to have kids. And you know what he said? You think I'm concerned about her eggs? I was like,
see, and there you go. Now you're talking about,
doesn't care about her, but he lives with her.
But now you're talking about a time limit on age before they get married, because it makes me think of some women we know in church. They want to get married. Some of them church women, they want to get married.
Okay.
They're looking for a man. So the first man I feel that shows them any affection or any kind of liking and going out, they're ready to get married because they feel their clock is ticking and they want to get married.
Oh, that's if they want children. Now, if a woman wants children, 9 times out of 10, she really is not going to waste her time long term with the guy. Because if you're in your 30s, the clock is ticking, and the man might not care, but the woman might care. And I'm not saying get desperate and marry somebody because your clock is ticking. But what I'm saying is you're not going to want to waste 2, 3, 4, 5 years with somebody knowing that you want to have children, knowing that you want to get married.
But then
y'all know what? It's a lot of people that do it.
Right. Then you
they
have
live
some
together and they have the,
Right. Some Christian women that say, well, I want a Christian man. And sometimes the Christian man ain't there. So I say, don't just disregard the man that doesn't go to church because he could develop his own relationship. No, I'm just saying. No, but some women do say that.
But you know what?
That's why they're still single.
I have to say this. My pastor said on a Sunday morning one morning, and it just blew me away. I absolutely loved it. I still quote him to this day. He said, 2 Christians does not make a Christian marriage.
Exactly.
2 Christians does not make a Christian marriage. Okay. So that means just because they're a Christian and you're a Christian don't mean you're going to have a great marriage. You got to learn how to have a Christian marriage. And you know what, you guys, I just have to say this, and we're going to do a talk on this too, because it has just really been on my heart and on my mind, is that we're so busy looking at that other person and do they meet our needs? Are they what we expect? Are they what we want? And even he asked, is that who God wants for us? But you know what the real key is? Examining yourself and knowing that you're that person that somebody should really want, or that you're that person that God has prepared you. You have prepared yourself to be everything God has called you to be. First of all, you got to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Then you have to love yourself. That means you got to know yourself, understand yourself, work on yourself. And then thirdly, you got to know how to love like God loves. That's a deep one right there. Mm-hmm. You can't love the way you want to love. You got to love the way the word says, the way the Bible says, the way God says you should love others. Then you're ready for marriage. Right.
But I would say that
you should want to be the best version of yourself in a marriage. Give everything. Right. You're supposed to be representing God. So that means you should get married to be serving someone, to give them everything that they need in life, to be that person that God has called you to be in serving in life and serving others and taking care of his sheep.
But I do say, because we're getting ready to end.
We are.
I do say that you should be dating, like we said, maybe to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't take no 5, 6, 7, 8 years to find out where you're going. It really shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
So I would say have that conversation maybe on the first date, or even if you're talking on the phone, you meet them online, ask them what is their take on marriage. Just how do they feel about it? Because you'll find out a lot about a person when, especially if you want to get married, you'll find out a lot about the other person if you ask them their feelings on marriage and how they feel. Because if it's 2 different feelings, well, I feel I want to get married, and the other person feels I don't want to get married, then maybe you weren't meant to be.
Right.
So have that conversation.
We'll talk about some things you can do if you're on opposite sides of the fence.
Right.
We'll talk about how you can bridge that conversation gap, because a lot of times we're just really afraid to bring it up and really share our feelings.
And there's a lot of times, which is good, baby. There's a lot of times where, you may want to get married, but it's something you don't talk about.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that next week. You guys, get your early bird tickets to Couples Fest 2023. Our 7th annual conference is September 22nd, 23rd. The website link is in the feed at the bottom, www.couplesfestexpo.com. Y'all, it is going to be bigger and better than ever before. We're talking entertainment, special guests, musicians, demonstrations on how to give your spouse a massage, or demonstrations on different hand dances, how to do a sexy exercise routine with your spouse so that it's not boring and you guys can stay fit and healthy. And we're going to talk about a sexy way to talk about your finances and make sure you're on the same page when it comes to those money issues. You guys, we're going to have interactive games that help build your relationship, help give you skills and working together with your spouse. We're going to have good food, good music, and a good time. Early bird tickets won't last, you guys. So if you do not want to pay full price, you want to get your tickets now at a discounted rate. And also, we'll be getting the information. We should have the information on Monday for a discount hotel stay, because it is 2 days. So if you're coming from out of town, or you don't live on this side of town, like a lot of our friends that didn't live on this side of town stayed over in a hotel on this side. But y'all, we want to see you. We want to meet you. We want to love on you. We want to get to know you. So get your tickets and come out to couplesfestexpo.com. And we're going to talk to you guys next week. I think we're going to continue this conversation about how to have that conversation if you're afraid, if you're not sure, if you're afraid that they might walk away, if you don't know how to open up the conversation.
Some people are afraid because they feel that if they bring it up, the person might leave, and they actually like the person.
Right. Or you're afraid that you really know how to leave, but you don't want to leave, or you don't know how to leave. So you're afraid to just open up that door. So we'll talk a little bit more about this next weekend. You guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend. And remember,
if you build it, it will last.
God bless you guys.
See you next time.